Coach Jason Simpson, Chris Brinkley here. Coach, enjoying a little bit of pizza. A week like this where you play on Saturday and then on Thursday, you probably don't have time to eat.
Yeah, it's a quick turnaround. It really is. And first of all, glad to be back at Snappy's.
Yeah.
Nothing that I love Trudy's office, but glad to be back over here.
That's right. You didn't get pizza
no,
last week.
I hadn't seen Frank yet, but the pizza's always great. Certainly appreciate it, guys. First of all, want to tell, and I heard you say it as I was coming in, and Ron and Alex, and appreciate, and Trudy, and you. Seriously, y'all make my job very easy, and always just say, hey, be here at this time, and everything's set up for me, and I appreciate that so much. And, it's been a really smooth transition not transition, but for 9 years. It's been fun working with you guys.
It's funny that you say that because I think I really had my first conversation with you here.
Yeah.
Because we had not really talked very much.
I think it was like that Monday, yeah.
And then I told Trudy before the show that night, I said, I hope the guy's easy to talk to because I'm going to be interviewing him a lot. And then 9 years later, and then after that first show, I told her, oh, he's good. He'll be fine.
Well, no, I appreciate it, man. No, it's been a lot of fun. A lot more fun to talk about wins than losses. And fortunately, we won more than we lost. But tough one this week, as you know.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. You go to Central Arkansas, good football team.
Yeah.
An interesting place to play. First of all, let's talk about the field because it's gotten a lot of publicity. And it's a striped field, and their colors are every other 5 yards, I guess.
Yeah, you're right. And I'd seen it, in pictures, and once you the initial shock of seeing it, then you don't pay attention anymore. But I was surprised at this is that how slippery it was.
Yes.
And we really struggled to keep staying on our feet, and I don't know why. And they slipped at times as well.
One of the officials slipped.
Did he really?
Yeah.
And I hope there's one of them I hope that slipped, to be quite honest with you. But that's all right. Glad he's okay. But anyway, they said that there's no pellets.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't, like on our field, you see the pellets that comes up that looks like the
little rubber pellets.
The rubber pellets.
Yeah.
Okay, those I didn't see any on that field, and maybe that's the reason that there was so much. Slippage, but we
it looked to me like when you tried to plant and get traction that it was like being in grout kind of. Your foot would just
and both teams had to tolerate it. I'm not sure they had a different cleat or not. I know we changed, a couple of our guys changed some cleats a couple times, but I bet you there was probably there was 30 times that you see us lose our feet, whether it affected play or not. But several of our ball carriers slipped, and unfortunate.
Coming out of the gate, Central Arkansas, of course, it was their home opener also. They have good tailgating and crowd support there. They had a nice crowd there. I was going to see what the official attendance, 10,727. So one of the things you wanted to do was get off to a fast start. And, Coach, they scored first at the 8:40 mark, putting a touchdown up there. And you kind of thought, uh-oh, but, boy, then it turned around quickly in the first half where it was all in our favor.
Yeah, it was. I think let's see. I think we kicked off and we got a stop. Our defense, I think we went 3 and out actually and got the ball back. And I think we put a first down or two together. And then we got to a third down, and we had a drop pass that we went for it on fourth down actually.
Right.
And we had a drop pass. It didn't convert, and that was unfortunate. Yeah. And then they took the ball and went back down and scored. I knew how our team would respond. Okay, what I mean by that, all week long, you're right. You'd heard me say we got to prepare better. We've got to be ready to play. We've got to learn from our mistakes the week before. And I knew that we'd had a good week of practice and that our players would respond and we'd be ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I felt very confident in that, and we did. And so, but they did get the first touchdown, and we responded, and we matched them and turned it into a good football game.
Yeah, I mean, after that touchdown, you completely controlled the first half and led 21-7 at halftime. Let's go through the touchdowns quickly. Jared Neal's 4-yard run into the end zone. Busted play there?
Yeah. That, you'll take the points any way you can get it, but you certainly don't like to, back into one. Yeah, but we had a busted assignment. Our fullback, his landmark was off, and him and Jared they kind of ran into each other. But proud of Jared, he kept his wits, he kept his composure, and the rule of thumb is, hey, if you miss a handoff, right, then get back in the line of scrimmage. And fortunately for us, the line of scrimmage was 4 yards deep in the end zone.
That's right.
And so, it worked just like we drew it up. It probably looked like a trick play.
It kind of did. And then he jumped up after scoring the touchdown, and I realized this guy's got a good vertical leap on him right there.
Jared's a better athlete, you think. He really is.
And then at the 8:55 mark, you score again on a 4-yard pass to Kyle Carrick, who had a fantastic
game. Nice play. Our coaches schemed that up during the week. Coach Bond and Coach Scotty, and good little high-low there with Corey Jordan and Kyle Carrick, and Jared found him for the little back of the end zone post, and then now we're up 14-7.
10-play, 80-yard drive, 5:09. Took a lot of time off the clock. You ended in the end zone, which is what you want to do. And then with 55 seconds remaining in the first half, then Corey scores on a 14-yard pass from Jared.
Yeah, nice play. Jared did a nice job stepping up in the pocket, and and I'm sure we'll talk about individual game performances, but Corey did a nice job. He got collisioned on the little high-low route we had out of our 3-by-1 formation, and Corey's so strong, and he's big. He's 220-something pounds and fast, and he was just kind of able to throw a linebacker off of him and run his little dig route, and Jared found him, and Corey kind of bulled his way in the end zone. So we're up 21-7, and we like the way things are going at this point.
No doubt their crowd is quiet. You certainly have momentum. They're going to come out, though, in the second half.
Well, you did. It's kind of like it's kind of deja vu, Yogi Berra all over again from last year's game. I think we were probably up 24-7 last year or something like that. And, we also missed a field goal in that first half.
Right.
So there's an opportunity to be up 24-7, and because when you're down 2 scores, I mean, you're still down, but you're thinking, hey guys, let's score 1 in the third quarter, get it to 1 in the fourth, right? And that's what you're thinking, and and then we're thinking just the opposite. Hey, let's take this opening kickoff that they're about to kick to us, and let's put another touchdown on the board now, and now they can't run the ball as consecutively, right? Now they're more in a throwing mode, and that's when your turnovers and your sacks and your tackle for losses start taking place.
They, in the third quarter, 11:25 mark, get a quick touchdown to make it 21-14. Jackson Reddick kicks a 34-yard field goal to make it 24-14, and you kind of still feel like you're there. And then they get a couple more field goals and just kind of work their way back into it.
It's a lot less painful when you go through it fast like that.
Is it? That's what I'm trying to do, Coach. Yeah. But go ahead.
Well, you just there's so many things in that game that I know it, the kids know it, anybody that saw the game, to where that's a game we let get away from us. Okay, and I'm not saying we played better all night. They made one more play than us in the end, and so that one's hard to swallow. It really is. But now, do I like I liked how hard we played. I liked how physical that we played. I liked, seeing, Kyle Carrick, some new Reuben Ducksworth, some new guys emerge as some playmakers, with the ball in their hand. I liked how our defense bounced back, from the week before, and played more physical and assignment sound football. Was it perfect? No, it was not. I mean, that's how other teams score touchdowns, is when you're not perfect. But very proud of our effort. Disappointed in the loss. A lot of things played into that. We've analyzed it, since we've been back. Tip their hat to them. Remember there at the end, Chris, we're the penalty called on what was perceived as a chop block,
right?
Which was not. You see it on tape. It was not. And now, from more the official's angle, I understand what he thought that he saw, and I've got the benefit of video camera, okay? And so our left tackle is raising his hands up so he doesn't engage as the center was blocking back. But that inside run and play, that off-tackle power, busts out of there and gets us inside the 10-yard line with 4 minutes left. And, we're fixing they've already burned all their timeouts, and, we're fixing to score a touchdown or minimum field goal, and there's going to be less than a minute left.
Right.
That's the game, in my opinion, is over right then. And we get the chop block, and it comes back. Now it's 2nd and 25 or something like that. And, then so we play it safe there and punt the football. We need to do a better job punting the ball inside the 10-yard line there. We kicked it, and it bounced, and it got in the end zone. But you still like your chances, right? They got to go 80 yards. They got to score a touchdown. Now, I don't know what your thought was, but, we lined up to kick the field goal. And, it's going to be a 52-yarder, and Jackson was all excited and feel confident, that he can make it. But if you miss it, okay, one, you miss it, but they've got a guy back. If it comes up short, now they're going to return it.
And we saw that last year.
You saw Alabama, Auburn deal. You don't want that to happen. Two, you miss it, they get the ball right there at that spot, which, for kicking the end zone, they get it to 20. We kick it right there. I think they get it to 37,
right,
or something like that. So I liked our odds. I called timeout. We went to our punt team. I think what was left on the clock that last drive?
There was
2 minutes, 11 seconds, something like that.
Yeah.
So now they've still got to go 80 yards.
Maybe 2:24 or something.
2:24, I think, with no timeouts. And they got to go length of the field, score a touchdown, and tip your hat to them. They did it in 14 plays. Okay, and we had chances for 2 or 3 different interceptions. didn't get them. They converted a 4th and 15, which is inexcusable, and better never happen again because we didn't play that correctly. We didn't coach it right. We didn't play it right, and I'm disappointed in that. But we kept fighting, and then we had a chance. We got some pressure the next play. It didn't, had an interception right at us, and just got out of our hands, and the game's over right then. And
it's one of those games, and I mentioned it immediately. If there's 5 more minutes on the clock, we win that game, or we can win that game.
Yeah.
I mean, or if there's 10 more minutes, maybe they come back. It just got to where it was back and forth like that at the end.
2 evenly matched teams. It was. Yeah. I mean, they're a good football team. They're a top 25 team, and they played at home. Thought their crowd, was a huge advantage. I really did.
Their student body was very active.
10,000 people there, right behind our bench. Was probably 2,000. Of their students, and they're loud, and they're yelling at us. They're yelling at my little boys, all in good spirit. I mean, they're having fun with their noise make, thunder sticks, and all that kind of stuff. And it was a good college atmosphere, and they enjoyed it, and they stayed there to the end. And I take my hat off to them. They've created that's the atmosphere that I hope we're able to bring Thursday night.
At the end of the game, you had mentioned the penalties, which were a factor for both teams. They seemed to hurt us more, and you had mentioned that it was 2-1. And you look at the numbers; they had 7 against them. We had 8, but it was for 121 yards compared to their 45, and that's killer.
Well, theirs were procedure penalties. Those 5-yarders. I think we had 3 pass interference call, which for us that's 6 in 2 weeks. Okay, we've got to play better technique and do what we're coached to do, and stay in phase and get our hands off the guy when the ball's in the air. Yes, and then you take that, and then the what was perceived as a chop block, that's another 15-yarder. So that's 60 yards right there. I can't remember what the other one. So we had a personal foul, which was we had 2 personal fouls. One on Taino, which the official said, Coach, he took 2 steps before he hit the quarterback. On tape I counted a step and a half. I mean, really, now it's bang bang. If I'm coaching, or if it's our quarterback, I want that call.
Right.
It's one of those deals. But that was a 4th down that led, not on that drive, but it was a previous drive that led to a touchdown or led to a field goal. And so those things disappointed. We certainly self-inflicted ourselves. I was very proud of the goal line stand there that we had.
Oh, that was fantastic.
Very proud of that defense on that. I mean, they really, that's very demoralizing to get them to 4th down, and they're able to convert on a penalty. And then they got it down there inside the 5, and we really bowed our neck and dug in. And some guys, Tay Martin made some plays, Tony Bell, Ryan Isom, very proud of that defensive unit, and held them to a field goal and still kept us in the lead up by 4 points.
We'll come back. We'll talk about the individual performances, and there were some improvement from several positions. Coach Jason Simpson and I will look back at that when we return as we talk about the Central Arkansas game and look ahead to the game with Cumberland on Thursday night, live from Snappy Tomato Pizza on the UT Martin Skyhawk Sports Network.